All right, welcome to episode 13 of the Duo Sports and Stuff podcast. If you are watching this, that means technology worked amazingly. Is that a word? No, amazing. And you're able
Efficiently.
to, yeah, efficiently. And you're able to see us on the video. If you aren't able to see this and you're just listening, then it didn't work. But we're just messing around with things and hopefully this works out. But welcome to episode 13 of the Duo Sports and Stuff podcast. My name is Deontay
Yes,
F,
sir.
joined by my buddy Dane Beasley. What it do, bro?
Nothing much. Just another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. Cut that out. No, I'm kidding. It's cool, man. Just ready to. Is it weird to say that my weekend really hasn't? I feel like my weekend hasn't really started yet. So it's like I'm ready to start the weekend. And I'm not saying it starts with this, but woke up this morning, still didn't feel like a Saturday. I don't know. I guess it's because I've been working from home. It kind of doesn't feel
Yeah.
like I'm free, even though my computer is stashed away, closed, powered off, without a charger next to it. Like, I don't know, strange business. So here we are.
We're here, man. We are here, and it's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm looking at the trees. It's just a blessed
What's temperature down
opportunity.
there?
Shoot. Like, let me check my phone. It was in the 50s when I walked out. Yeah, 54 degrees. So it's nice and brisk. Nice and brisk, and everything's
Brisk.
good. Nice little breeze coming through. So but yeah, Dane and I were talking about doing video for a while now, and thought it'd be a nice addition to the podcast along with the audio version that we do. So especially to all of our friends and family that we don't really get to see on a regular basis, especially with the
Nope.
virus and quarantine stuff going on. So there's opportunity for them to see us and also for you. And we have our nice little studio makeshift thing going on. Got my Broncos coffee
I'm in
cup.
my son's closet. It's not a studio.
Dane's in his closet / studio. I'm in our guest bedroom. So we're just trying to make this work, and we'll get better at this as it goes along. So um, other than that, man, I'm excited. We're 13 episodes in now, bro, and it gets
Man,
more and more exciting, more and more fun, and it's like we talked about this for years, and to actually see people giving us feedback and telling us they like to listen
mhm.
and all that good stuff, man. It's just been fun. We're thankful and supportive. Dane, what about you, bro?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. I don't even remember what we did in episode 3. Like, just thinking about it, when you said like we're on the 13th episode, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I remember the last episode we did. I remember the episode when we interviewed Omar.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first episode, and everything else in between is sort of like a blur. So I guess that means to us, maybe I mean, we've reached that point where it's like, okay, we're really, how can I put this in words? We've reached the point where it's like we've recorded so many of these that they're running together. To
Mm-hmm.
me, and I could be completely off here, but it just seems like they're all running together now.
Yeah.
But I mean, here we are. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's fun, and
Hey, you
technology,
gotta. This is. Oh, never mind.
bro. I'm really like, what? They ain't get me now.
Nah,
They ain't gonna be pranking me even more with this video going on because he
nah.
knows
You
I'm
had
extra gullible.
I thought it was a roll of tissue on right
I,
behind you, but it was
I thought it was a
just a
roach
mug.
crawling on your bed. Like,
Nah, I thought it
that's
was some
what's up.
trash on your dresser there, but it's just a Broncos mug.
Oh,
So you,
hey, this beautiful. And you know what? I'm wearing a Broncos shirt, so just so y'all know, I'm still a Broncos fan. We're gonna get it changed around this year coming up.
ripping for the Black Panthers.
Hey, Wakanda forever.
You see they was clowning my boy Chadwick Boseman, man?
bruh. He man, he good, bruh. Chad is fine.
Yeah, they were clowning my man, talking about he looked malnourished and they just stripped the Black Panther powers away from him. I'm like, man, nah, he probably looks. That might be his, his normal weight at 165 or
Yeah,
whatever it is, but
or he's doing it for a role.
for a role, yeah,
He might be doing it for a role. Yeah,
it's no different than when we were all skeptic about seeing 50 Cent looking real skinny or Matthew McConaughey looking very, very malnourished, or who was another person that did? Oh, Christian Bale. When Christian Bale did it, his super weight loss, and then of course when he got super big for was his playing Dick Cheney, right? The movie he was playing Dick
yeah.
Cheney.
I never watched it though.
I haven't seen it. I
Yeah,
just know he blew up for
I never watched it.
it. No
Yeah.
pun intended.
So a few days ago, Dane, Jalen Green was one of the top prospects coming out in the draft, and he
Man,
decided, I'm not going to college. I'm gonna go get this bag,
yeah. No, no, correction.
and
I'm not going to college right now.
yeah, exactly. So for those that don't know, I'm just gonna read the story here from Yahoo. Uh,
Yeah, shameless plug.
yeah, no plug here. Jalen Green announcing he's bypassing college and joining the NBA's G League for the 2020-21 season. He's attempting to forge a new path for elite prospects. The five-star recruit, who's ranked number 2 in the 2020 high school class by Rivals.com, has reached a substantial six-figure deal, sources said, to partner with the G League for a year before entering the 2021 NBA draft, where he's a candidate to be the number 1 overall pick. The G League will
Mm,
create a select team in a designated city with a few roster spots for elite high school players who want to play professionally instead of going to college. The rest of the roster will be made up of veteran players. And then he was also joined by another top prospect, Isaiah Todd. Um, and so both of those guys are going to go G League route instead of going to college first. And a lot of people are saying that, it's kind of the death sentence for the NCAA. I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but I would say you will see
I
more
wouldn't
top
say that.
prospects. Yeah, yeah. I would see more top prospects like on the level of Zion, on the level of those top guys. Maybe instead
Mhm.
of going one and done at a college, would go this route. Um, there's always kids. There are always going to be prospects that are going to choose the college route because not everybody can go to G League straight from high school. Be
Right.
like, okay, these guys are going G League. Okay, that leaves me a spot to go to one of these blue blood colleges to get my shine on and get my name out there for scouts in the NBA. So, Dane, how do you feel about this?
When I seen it, I thought it was first things first. I had to check the source because a lot of the times when you see stories like this, sometimes they're like, you know, parody parody sports accounts. So when I seen it come from what's it, ESPN account, Sports Center account, I can't remember who
Mm-hmm.
which verified account tweeted. I was like, wait a minute, for real? So went and dug deeper and found out it was legit. And I was like, okay, so how's this going to work? And then, of course, they showed the cash value and then the opportunity for him to still get school. And then, of course, what he wants to do the most, and of course, and that's be competitive. So I'm all
Yeah,
for it. I've always been for if you're ready to go to the, I mean, I know it's not the actual league, but if you're ready to go to the league, I don't think there should be anything that prevents you from going. Basketball is very common, football, not so much. Um, but I am excited for them. I am excited about the path this creates for other top athletes. And like you said, it's not going to be an option that's available to everybody, but those players who are quote unquote NBA ready or have the skill set, have the mindset, or mature enough, of course, they have that opportunity to go and take the routes that Green and Todd are taking right now. Plus, right now, with everything being shut down the way that it is, it kind of provided. I'm assuming it would probably provide those two a place, a time and a place to think about it, about their options that they have. So, shout out to
Yeah.
them for being trailblazers.
Right. And
No
I
pun
didn't mention
intended.
that, and you touched on it a little bit about them being able to get an opportunity to go to college after they're done. So
Hmm.
that's a big deal um, for the main people that say, to go to college, get education. If you're a top prospect, let's just be real here. You're a top prospect, NBA is, I mean, they're gonna want you, right? So
Yeah.
for
Oh yeah.
them to be able to still have the opportunity to after their playing days are done, or if something happens, God forbid, they tear their ACL or something where they have a
Hmm.
career-ending injury, they can always fall back on the education part uh,
Yeah.
to rely on. So that is a big deal. So, like I said, I think it's gonna be good for those top prospects, but it's not gonna be the death of college basketball, man. It's so
No,
many.
not at all.
Right. It's so many guys that's gonna be ready to fill in those spots, and there's so many athletes in this sport. So NCAA is gonna move on, but we talked about this as well. We have our gripes with the NCAA and what they have in their. I won't call it. What's the right word? They're set in their ways as far as.
Right. This is the way that we've always done it, so this is the way that we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I want to say old man syndrome, but I don't know if that's the right term I'm looking for. But they're yeah,
It's
like you
kind of
said,
ages, bro.
yeah, my bad. They're set in their ways, and you know they're slow to adjust to what's going on right now in 2020. So happy for these
Yeah.
guys, and you'll probably see more um more top prospects do or go this route. There was
Yeah.
another tweet that I was looking for right here. Uh, I switched to my phone because the Wi-Fi is kind of spotty right now. Yeah, uh, yeah, from Tim McMahon, who was quote tweeting Woj. Woj had said, he says, as NBA PA talks on eliminating one and done remain stalled, strengthening the pro pathway initiative became even more important to Adam Silver. For those who don't know, Adam Silver is the commissioner for the NBA. He said, in many ways, this is a bridge to that eventual day. LaMelo Ball and RJ Hampton signing in Australia accelerated these changes. So last
Mm.
year, LaMelo and RJ Hampton were two other big prospects who went the pro route instead of going to college. And so
Overseas.
they went overseas to ball 1 year. And so what the NBA is trying to do is bring those kids from going overseas to keeping them here in the States and
Get them
connecting
here.
them with that NBA bridge to strengthen, of course, the NBA brand and um, to keep that unified group of athletes together. And there was, I think I was watching the herd yesterday or day before, and Joy Taylor had said something about how um, LeVar Ball kind of set the standard back. Was that 2 years
He's got
ago?
people can
Yeah,
say what they want about LeVar, but he's got vision. The dude's got
man.
vision. And
He
the
kind
NBA
of
was smart. They try to find a way to get him on payroll, some sort of consultant or something.
yeah, he laid that. He kind of laid the bricks to the pathway
Mm.
because he came out with the was it the JBA? I think that was the name of
Yeah,
his initiative
yeah.
where he was putting
All I
together.
remember is the big baller brand is the only thing I remember.
Yeah, but
Triple
basically
B.
he had this initiative where he had this his own league of young
Hmm.
prospects that didn't want to go to college and wanted to ball and get their name out there. So this is kind of what he had in his mind, and he put forth the plan years ago. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to LeVar because people talk about him. I mean, of course, sometimes he's brash what he says, his
Yeah.
bravado type.
He's just selling a product at the end of the day. All you
Mhm.
got to think about is he's selling a. You can agree or disagree, but the dude's just trying to sell a product.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
I agree.
That's
I
all it
agree.
is.
So you
But
know,
this, what you were saying earlier, though, it's not going to be the death of the NCAA, but it definitely is going to put some pressure on them to
Yeah,
change up their ways just to get with the times. And
yeah,
shout out to the NBA. There's a lot of professional leagues that do right by the players, but it's another thing to try not to. What's the best way? It's another thing to be on the progressive side of things, like the NBA is trying to do. Now they still have room to grow in other areas, but I think they're going about it the right way of providing a different avenue for players, um, especially considering the times right now.
right.
There ain't no telling when everything's going to open back up. So who's to say that we don't even get you know, a college season for any sport? So
Mm, that's true. That's true, brother. Um, looking through my phone, when and a good segue to this is, we're in the quarantine right now, so everybody's on their phone constantly, and it sparks up a lot of debate, sparks up a
hmm
lot of who is better than who. It's we're in a time, we don't have sports on TV, so we like to create scenarios. We like to,
I gotta talk about something,
yeah, got to talk about something,
even
right?
if you're horribly and terribly wrong.
So, it
Take it away,
started.
Deontay.
Yeah, let me go back. I'm going through like these tweet threads to find the connection of how this all started, right? So
Okay.
I think I found where it started.
Was
So
it McCormick?
yeah, but it's before McCole, he quote tweeted somebody who quote tweeted somebody. So I'm going down the rabbit hole, if you will.
Oh, okay. I got you. I
All
got you.
right. So the check down is another sports account, right? They always tweet sports videos, sports stats, and stuff like that. And so they had tweeted this graphic of Kyler Murray, and I don't know if I could put it on the screen. I don't know if you'll be able to see it pretty well, but the graphic says
What?
the greatest high school quarterback ever ? And these are Kyler Murray stats in high school.
Kyler Murray.
Right,
I
right,
mean, that's
right. And
who. I
so
mean,
his this graphic, what it's saying is showing his accomplishments in high school. So it says
mhm.
43-0 record, 43-0, three state titles, 186 total touchdowns, and 2014 Player of the Year. Right. So that's
And 5'9".
yeah. Right. And we all know who Kyler Murray is. He was that guy in high school in Allen, Texas. Right. So that was the original tweet, was from Checkdown,
Right.
and then Mike Evans, receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, quote
Big
tweeted.
facts.
Yeah, he quote tweeted that and said, "Texas high school football is the best, and quarterback the hardest position. So I guess Kyler Murray is the best high school player ever." So he was agreeing with what Checkdown was saying with the graphic. Okay,
He's giving him his props.
right,
Giving him
right.
his props.
So Miko Hardiman, this is where he hit.
And then some feelings got hurt.
Yeah, Miko Hardiman is the receiver for the Chiefs, all around player, rookie last year, balled out. He quote tweeted and said, "Texas football is not the best," with the shrugs emoji. And then
Okay.
hold on, I just lost my path. Okay. And
It's all
then
good,
your
G.
boy Des Bryant Dane, he quote tweeted Miko. He said, "Love you, brother, but you are crazy. Texas by far has the best football ever." And then Miko replied to him and said, "LOL, I'll take an all-star team from Georgia and beat an all-star team from Texas any day." And
Boy.
then after that, okay, that was
You
the
know what? You just end the conversation right there. The only question I have is who's stopping Adrian Peterson? That is the only. Really, we have an all-star team made up by each state. Who's stopping Adrian Peterson?
yeah,
That's all. We talked about this earlier in this same podcast about players in the NBA. NBA bodies that they're more or they're easy. It's easier for people to see the transition from a high school basketball player straight to the NBA versus the high school football player straight to the NFL. The body type, the body mass, it's not there. Speed, strength, reaction, patience, all that stuff. There has been plenty of arguments, plenty of justified arguments made that Adrian Peterson is probably one of the only, or one of the more recent football players that could have gone straight from high school to the pros. But that's a tangent. My apologies.
No,
Proceed, brother.
you good, you good. And so the check down, hopped back in on it, and they put up two graphics and saying the
Stir
state
up the
of
pot.
Georgia, right? The state of Georgia versus the state of Texas. Who you got? So and I know there's plenty more athletes, probably some I can't even name off the top of my head, but
Oh yeah.
the quote or the graphic from Georgia of NFL players was Tyreek Hill, Miko,
Hmm.
Nick Chubb, um, Kenyon Drake, I believe, Deshaun
Hmm.
Watson, Alvin Kamara, and Cam Newton. That was on the Georgia graphic.
Cam.
And then on the Texas graphic, you had Mike Evans, Manuel Sanders, uh, Cortland Sutton,
Orland Sutton.
Kyler Murray, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, and Adrian Peterson. And there are plenty more. I can name Andrew Luck when he was in the league. He's from Texas. Matthew Stafford, he's from Texas. Just and I know we're from Texas, but
Yeah. It's
it's Texas. It's Texas.
yeah.
I have
It
I saved some graphics also on my phone, Dane, and
smart.
it's a map. It's a map of where all the NFL players are from, what state. The most are
Let
from
me guess before you say it. Before you say it, I'm a guess
okay.
just to try to make this a little fair. In no particular order: California, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Ohio, Alabama.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no particular order, but yeah, the top number one is Florida with 226, California 197, Texas 175, Ohio or Georgia 124, Ohio 85, and then after that is North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Illinois, and Louisiana 65 too. But yeah, that you got it nail on the head. But it's Texas, bro.
Yeah.
It's Texas, and they made a movie and a show based off Texas football. That's how big Texas or football is in Texas.
Correction. What show are you talking about? You talking about Friday Night Lights? Or you talking about Friday Night Tykes? Because think about it.
They made a little league
From
football show
a
about
a little
Texas or
league.
in Texas.
So that lets you know. That lets you know everything you need to know about the religion that is
Yeah,
football in the state of Texas.
and I understand Miko is
Unfortunately,
just repping for a state, obviously, and
he's
any
they
person
got him
would do
against the
that.
ropes, and he's fighting back.
Yeah,
He's fighting back. He's
he
swinging and everything,
he
but
trying to
it's
swing
not one of
away.
those.
He trying to swing away, but it's Texas, man. Now, if
Yeah,
you a
yeah,
better argument could be Texas against Florida or California. Now, there's a good argument to be said on those because I think they play All Star games, high school All Star games all the time between those three states. But it's it's
correct.
it's Texas. It's Texas.
And I can't find it, but there was another mention of the players drafted last year. How is upwards towards 70 or 80 that came out of the city of Houston alone versus the 60 or so that came out of Georgia last year.
Yeah.
I can't find that it was a
Oh, you know what,
current player from Miami.
man? I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. I
Oh,
actually,
oh,
I actually
oh,
screenshotted that.
oh.
We're
Okay,
look,
with the
we're here.
assist.
We're here for the people, Dan. You know, we do what we gotta do, bro. So, it says I don't know. Oh, some guy at the no, I don't see his at name here.
No,
I cut it
he
off.
plays for the University of Miami. He plays for the U.
Who?
The guy that I
Who?
seen that compiled it,
Oh,
he
okay.
plays for the U.
Okay. I when I screenshotted it, I cut off his name. But it said last year there
Wow.
were 88 guys from the whole state of Georgia in the NFL from the city of Houston alone, there were 74. That should be the end of the argument right
Yeah,
there.
that's it.
That's
That's it.
crazy. So 74 guys from Houston in the NFL, 88 from Georgia. So
Georgia.
Texas, of course, Texas is bigger, but I mean, you even the players I named on that graphic, I would take in a game over the players in that graphic from Georgia. Drew Brees, Adrian Peterson, uh, Kyler Murray, Mike Evans. Those that weren't on the graphic, I would name Matt Stafford. There are so many more guys I would take over
There's a
those
lot.
Georgia guys.
There's a
But
lot.
and if y'all
And
disagree, if
this is
y'all oh
no diss to Georgia athletes or athletes anywhere else. We're just simply comparing. I would say apples to apples, but it's really not because the breed of athlete from the state of Texas just there's no comparison. But
yeah.
anyways, there's no diss to any Georgia athletes or whatever the sport you all play in Georgia that's called football that you call football. No diss at all. It's just saying that here down here in Texas, it's just different.
Yeah. Hey, if y'all disagree with us, let us know. Add us, hit us up like, nah, man, I'm from Georgia. We
You know
better
we're about to
than
get flamed.
Texas. You know. Hey, let us know. Let us know. Um,
Ah, found him. His name is Ryan Ragone.
yeah, we
He's a
go.
linebacker at the U. Since you cut off the dude's name,
Oh, you know
I'm
what?
giving my man's his
Yeah,
credit.
I actually saw his name right here. I just missed it.
Oh, correction. Let me double down on that point if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
Deontay.
Go ahead.
And the tweet says, and I quote, since I see a lot of people saying quality over quantity, and those numbers don't matter if they ain't elite. There are 30 Hall of Famers from Texas compared to Georgia's 9. Of those 30, 15 are the NFL are on the NFL all-time team compared to Georgia's 4. And then of course he follows up with, honestly, we all know it should be Texas versus Florida. Georgia's not even in this conversation.
Mm.
It's not to say you don't have athletes, it just means that, you know, the better ones come from Texas.
Last episode, Dane, we talked about the NFL teams releasing some jerseys. It was the Falcons and Bucks we talked about last time. I think the Colts came out uh, with their new ones. They kind of tweaked them a little bit. They got a new little secondary logo. I don't know if you've seen it. Um,
Mm.
and then the Browns came out with their new jerseys, uniforms, throwback to their classic ones, so to say.
It looked the
And
same to
then
me.
yeah, there little tweaks here and there. And then we still got the Patriots supposed to drop theirs on Monday. The Chargers still have new jerseys that are coming out that are supposed to be amazing, you know.
Mm.
And then there's one more team, the Rams. I think just because the both teams are moving into a new stadium, they want to go off fresh. So, um,
Yeah.
you said something
Disassociate
pretty.
from the other.
You said something pretty interesting on your
Really?
theory, yeah, about
Oh,
why
yeah, 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 yeah.
all these jersey things are happening. What do you think?
So it all comes down to the money, the dollar bill, the Benjis, the Nero, lettuce, the cheddar. It all comes down to the money. We are all sitting at home. Well, we're supposed to be in the state of Texas, of course. We're supposed to be all at home, or correction, in Dallas County. I'm Dallas County. We're supposed to be at home, chilling, social distancing, staying away, not huddling in groups of no more than 10 people. Of course, and if you're out in public, you're not supposed to be within 6 foot distance from the next person. With that said, if you're at home, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be online more. If you're online more, you're probably gonna be watching TV. If you're on TV more, or if you're watching TV more, you probably see a lot more advertising. If you see a lot more advertising, what is that gonna make you want to do? It's gonna make you want to shop. And one of the greatest, I can't say invention. I don't know if it was invented. I don't know. But one of the greatest things ever invented was online shopping because, of course, you don't have to leave your house. You can just pull out your phone or get on your laptop and find what you want and order as many as you want, and boom, they'll send it to you. And they even have this beautiful, wonderful, fancy thing called Amazon Prime. If you order it, like, let's say before 12 o'clock, you might get it within the next hour, 2 hours, or something like that. So I said all that to say this: we're bored. The folks who run the organizations in the NFL and the NBA, they're bored too. So they want to probably just capitalize off of our boredom. And the best way to do that is to make sure that they have a product that we want or that their fan base wants. And if they know that I'm sitting at home, why not market this brand new jersey and put out a minute and 30-second long, highlight of people prancing around in jerseys with hip hop in the background? That's just the thing. But there's more to it. Let me fully put on my tinfoil do rag. Mm, mm. So we're all quarantined. Well, we're all stuck at home for the most part. Many people, many of our most intelligent minds in the world have assumed that there's going to be a huge baby boom in the next few months. And of course, if there's a huge baby boom in the next few months and we're going to return back to normal in the next few months, those babies are going to need some clothes. And guess what? Those babies are going to be born during football season. But guess what? What better way to sell more product? It's all about the product. What better way to sell more product if you have more fans to cater to? And the best way that you can take advantage of catering the fans is advertising the fans while everyone's on this social distancing, quarantine, can't go outside lockdown. We're all human. We know that the only way the humans get here is by other humans. So, that being said, this is just a golden opportunity for the NFL to probably just push more jersey sales. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but as crazier things have been thought up and brainstormed by people wearing tinfoil do rags.
Hmm.
I just thought it was kind of interesting because I don't remember the last time we've had so many.
Jersey changes.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of it has to do with the new CBA or whatever, but it just a lot of it. Like I didn't even know the Browns were coming out with new jerseys. Like, and that just randomly happened. And then of course, we talked about it last episode with the Falcons and the Bucks. So I don't know. That's just my fun. That's my fun theory. Nothing serious about it. It's just a joke. So don't take it
Yeah.
personal. Yeah. So
They ain't always got the conspiracy hat on.
Sure
No,
has nothing to
when
do
you
with that. You're
when you
playing
said
on. Yeah.
when you said that in the group chat, we all started thinking like, that doesn't sound too wild of a theory. Um, you know, what drives everything is money. So
Yeah, money.
I
If
would,
you're gonna lose out on ticket sales, the best thing you could do is make up for that revenue, that lost revenue, by putting out a bunch of jerseys. So
yeah,
why not?
why not? Hey,
Cha-ching.
well, I shoot everything you said in the argument. I'm like, pretty much yeah, pretty much yeah. So you'll see more jerseys rolling out and product revenue. Well, and especially with the uncertainty of the game coming back, if they got to drive up the revenue and get the money any way they can. So
Mm-hmm.
why not get jerseys? And especially was they already said Tom Brady's jerseys skyrocketing it to the top. It's already at the top, and with them getting the new jerseys, probably just doubled that. So and
Or
most of
Chris
those
Godwin.
new jerseys or new teams or teams that have new uniforms have new players, big time players. The Chargers got Chris Harris from us. Uh, I
You
don't know.
okay?
I don't know if the Brown. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. Um, but yeah, your argument, bro. I would not. I would. It sounds plausible. Something that
I mean,
could be driving.
there are some holes in it. There are plenty of holes in it, though. I'm not going to sit here and say that the argument is complete foolproof. But those videos were recorded probably months ago, maybe weeks ago, before this whole thing got to the level, or before COVID-19 got to the level where it's at. So there's no telling.
Yeah,
I'm just spit. It was just spitballing. So please
yeah.
don't take it seriously. Not that big of a
I
deal.
like
It's
it.
just
I like it, bro.
a theory.
All right. So, Dane, we have the NFL draft coming up in less than a week.
First round kicking off on Thursday night. And so we are going to talk about some memorable draft moments from the past few years, maybe even further than that. So um, the one that I remember was a funny one from a few years ago with McKinley, right?
Tack McKinley.
Tank McKinley. And
Tack, my bad. My bad if I said tank, I meant tack.
and yeah, he
Tackerus McKinley.
got drafted and dropped was the F bomb on stage with the
Yeah.
commit.
He said, let's effing go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
And I can only imagine what type of energy and excitement, probably through the roof for these athletes, the lifelong dream getting drafted to the NFL. So that was a crazy and fun moment. And then the other one is more geared towards how history changed so many things. So one in particular is with my favorite team. John Elway in '83 got drafted by the Colts. Baltimore Colts got traded to I already see your face. Got traded to Denver. And then the rest was history. Towards the end of his career, he gave us 2 Super Bowl rings on his way out. And more often than not, and I think you'll see this year in the draft, a bunch of trades. And that's going to decide the fate of a lot of, and I'm more talking about the signal callers, the quarterbacks. You got a bunch of top prospects this year with Tua, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Herbert. Who am I missing?
Bust.
Guys, go ahead.
Oh, I said bust. You said Herbert.
Bust. I thought you said plus. But
I don't know.
I think you'll see a lot of trades at the top of the draft, mainly because there's quarterbacks and quarterback needy teams, and so you'll see a lot of the teams go up. And so kind of like with what I talked about with John Elway, and then back in the day, Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers, that trade, forever changed the path.
Him forcing his way out of being a Charger.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll see like a force out, but I'm just talking about in general players' careers being changed by teams moving up, moving down. So I've seen some mock drafts, and like a bunch of mock drafts are obviously mock drafts are different from person to person, but there's a lot of variety as far as who gets picked where and what teams get them. So I just think with this draft, we already know it's going to be virtual. So that's one thing that's definitely different about it. And then 2, I think we'll see a lot more trades than we usually see in the top half of the draft, because there's so many quarterback needy teams, and there are a lot of good quarterback prospects out there. So I know I kind of mixed that segment with memorable and how it can compare with this year. So
let you flow, man. Look like you was on your thing. So like, all right.
I was feeling myself just a little bit.
I see where you going. Never mind. I don't know where you going.
Yeah, bro. So what you think about that?
My first immediate thoughts about or favorite memorable draft memories. Number 1 would probably be I was super excited when we got Dez Bryant. Super excited. Probably not my most memorable. I had to go with memorable. I say probably the 2014 draft, because I just swore, I just knew the Cowboys are taking Jalen Ramsey at number 4. I just knew they were. There was no way. I don't know. That is probably the most memorable one, because it was the bets that I was making with friends and family bets and stuff. The bets I was making with them and roommates, and going on Facebook declaring, "Oh man, I can't wait till we play him out at weak side linebacker, have him in the box, and then you go out and cover the number 1 receiver," like all this random stuff, and then boom, with the number 4 pick of the 2014 NFL draft, the Cowboys select Ezekiel, because I think he said it. He said it weird. He said it weird the first. I was like, wait, who? He's Ezekiel Elliott. I was like, oh, okay. I was cool. I was kind of cool with it because we at the time. I think not. I think DeMarco Murray. That ship sailed.
Mm-hmm.
Was it was a disaster. That 2013-2014 season. Um, I mean, it wasn't a disaster. Just didn't go the way that nobody wanted it to go. But we were just sure that we were gonna with a running back, a true bell cow 4-down or 3-down running back, we would be contenders again. At least
Yeah.
that's what our thought process is every single year. But of course, I mean, I was okay with it, but it still wasn't my first pick. One of my favorite picks.
What?
One of my favorite draft moments was probably the Laramie Tunsil deal with the gas
Mm.
mask, like leaking and going viral, like just moments before like that was probably the craziest moments. Here you
Somebody was
have,
out to get him, bro.
yeah, I think it was his dad that tweeted or something like that, or I can't
Was
remember
it?
how it
I
got
don't
out.
remember.
I don't remember if
So
it was his
for
dad or
for
something.
those that don't know, Laramie Tunsil, what year was that? What 2 years ago?
20. Let me double check. I don't remember. I do remember that's probably.
Laramie Tunsil was he went to, was he at Ole Miss?
Yeah, the Ole Miss to Miami,
Ole
and then
Miss
of course
tackle, offensive tackle. Moments before the draft, like maybe an hour or so before the draft, there was a
2016.
yeah, and was it a picture or a
Dang,
video?
that was definitely a picture.
Okay, it was a picture of Laramie Tunsil in a gas mask, apparently like smoking some good stuff,
He
maybe.
was smoking some marijuana, maybe.
Yeah, and so that leaked on social media right before the draft and
Allegedly.
dropped. Yeah,
Oh no, I lied. You were right. It was a video.
the draft is coming up Thursday. Give us some entertainment. Give us something to look forward to. And then Sunday, this weekend, Sunday night, finally getting that long-awaited Last Dance Jordan documentary. Um,
Man,
it's going to be a doozy. They're dropping 2 episodes per week for 5 weeks. So this weekend will be episodes 1 and 2. And then I saw a funny joke on social media, Dane. They were talking about how Jordan got emotional during, the interviews, and they were saying he wanted to take a break between him getting emotional. And I saw somebody saying, yeah, he don't want to get memed again. You know how they got the Jordan meme, they're crying.
at
Yeah.
the homegoing celebration for
Yeah,
Kobe, and then of course
and then the Hall
was
of
it the Hall
Fame.
of Fame
Yeah,
acceptance? Yeah,
yeah.
boy,
So it was
you
like,
got a few out
yeah,
there.
he don't want to get memed again, so he's taking breaks between. And then he had also came out with a comment and said that after watching this documentary, people might see him in a different light, or it was,
I was like,
I
it's
can't
too late, bro.
I can't remember what he said, something like they might think I'm a bad
He's
guy,
afraid of,
something like that.
yeah, see him in a negative light. I was like, that's way that ship has set sailed a long time
Yeah.
ago, G.
Well,
Long time ago.
a lot of people don't know that, competitive, petty, asshole that he kind of was back in the day. So
Kind of is.
yeah, well,
You talk about competitive, like when he said those comments, I laughed because like, bro, don't have to worry about that because everybody already thinks that about you. Like when there was a viral video that came out, there was like 100 kids at one of his little camps that he had,
I
and
already know what you're
I
talking
think
about. Yeah,
somebody said like if he
it was
makes
at
it,
Chris Paul's
or if he misses it,
camp.
yeah, if you miss it, then all these kids, get free shoes.
Yeah,
That man
boy,
said,
MJ did
shoot,
not miss a shot. He did
man,
not miss a shot. He did not miss a shot, bro. What other things are you kind of expecting or wanting to learn, or something you may not
Well,
know when watching this
there's
documentary?
there's two things. One, there's a bunch of unseen footage from the run that hasn't surfaced or been, shown to anybody except for, of course, people in the background. I'm looking forward to that. Two, or actually, I got 3 points. Two, nostalgia. I love retro nostalgia, like because that was we were kids, but we grew up in that
Yeah,
that era, that '90s, that late '90s era of Mike being the face of the NBA. Like everybody wanted to be Mike. I was in first grade, wanted to be Mike. Didn't know why, but just because. Or of course, Space Jam. The Jays, and just he was the embodiment of basketball. So
yeah,
that I can't wait to relive that nostalgia, or have that just flowing through. Like, man, I remember that. Like, you're gonna see so many different, you know, advertisements. You're gonna see so many different logos that don't look the same. Like, of course, back in the '90s, it looked a lot different. And it's like, whoa, like, so that, and of course, lastly, uh, just the perspectives from all the celebrities,
yeah,
because they're gonna have the interviews from current NBA players, presidents, talk show people, dudes that do podcasts. Unfortunately, not us.
they didn't hit us up for this one.
No hard feelings. Just kidding. But hadn't anything to add, anyways. I don't know. I wouldn't have had anything to add. I don't remember anything
Right.
back there like that. But mostly that's it, man. I
Yeah.
just and this is aside from the draft. This is going to be COVID-19 Super Bowl. Like and when you think about, because we didn't, we're probably not going to get the Olympics. We didn't get, March Madness. Well, we got it. It just came in a different format. We
Yeah.
didn't get, we didn't get the satisfaction of seeing a lot of things. So this gets to be the big showdown, this
Yeah.
documentary. So just excited about
Kind
that,
of.
G.
Yeah. That's a great point. You know, not having it's some type of sports entertainment that we all care about, and I think that even makes it more. I know it's Jordan and the Bulls already, but having it right now and dropping it right now, with there's nothing going on besides the NFL draft. But I think we talked about it even a few episodes ago when they were teasing that it could come out early. This is gonna
Mm-hmm.
break records, man. Everybody's gonna be tuning in Sunday night.
Yep.
Everybody's gonna be tweeting about it. Everybody's gonna be posting about it. It's just gonna be on another level on that sense. And I don't know if you got to see it, but not five. A few days ago, they dropped 5 minutes from the first episode. It was on social media,
I didn't watch it.
and it automatically captivated you. It was talking about, I mean, because obviously you mentioned it. We were kids during this run, so
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the main things.
But we still knew we wanted to be like Mike, even though we were
Right,
kids. Like crazy.
right. Like the way you and I know about sports now, we
Mm-hmm.
obviously weren't on that level then. We just knew Michael Jordan. He was the best. We knew that, but
Yep.
to be able to see the background, behind the scenes look, the day to day, the personalities, we can kind of get a better perspective of how things were then. And to go back to that 5 minutes that they showed, so basically what this documentary is, it's not of Michael Jordan's career. It's going to focus on that last championship season that they had. And it was explaining, the little teaser was explaining how, they had won 5 titles already, but the GM was the one button heads with everybody, button heads with Mike, the stars, because he believed he
Mm-hmm.
was the reason Chicago was winning, and not Michael and not Phil Jackson.
Jerry Jones? I thought you were telling a story about the '90s Cowboys. Like, wait a minute, this sounds
Not
way too
Jerry.
familiar.
This guy's
My
name
bad.
escapes me, but it's already setting the
Thomas.
stage for that battle that's gonna happen. and it's just I'm just excited and pumped to kind of get the behind the
Yeah.
scenes look of it.
The
Um,
ego collision,
right.
the fall of a dynasty.
Yeah. So that's gonna drop Sunday evening at 8. First episode's at 8. I want to say 8, and then they following it up at 9. One of those. But yeah, tune into that, and of course, next episode we're gonna dive into the first 2 episodes for sure and recap it like how we would do any show that we like. So tune into that. Something to look forward to. And previously we were talking about the NFL draft day and NFL draft moments, and you know how it's going to be different this year with the virtual draft. And so last night, Friday night, I tuned into the WNBA draft because it was virtual too. And so personally, well, that was one of the reasons. First, I'm a Baylor Bear alum and fan, and so 3 of the top or some of the players.
Humble brag on the uni real quick, G.
Yeah, we had some girls that could have been drafted. Yes,
dominant.
2 for sure. Yeah, 2 for sure getting drafted. 1 maybe got drafted. They all got drafted yesterday. And so I wanted to tune in because of that, obviously. And then the other reason, like I was saying, I wanted to see how the virtual draft would look on television, how they were doing things. And of course, I believe the NFL was probably tuned into it to kind of get a glimpse of, okay, how is this going to go? Right. And so I think a report had came out that they were doing a mock draft Monday to kind of get a basis of how things were going, which it's good. It's important. I'm glad they're doing that because we talked about it last episode, how those technical things need to get worked out. So hopefully they do all that. But I watched the WNBA draft yesterday.
It's mind blowing. It's $1 billion industry. How? I'm sorry. My bad. Continue. My bad.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was frustrated. Like, how can you not build this out with little to no errors, with as much revenue comes from your product? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, there are so many intelligent minds behind the NFL as a product that you guys can't figure out a way to make a selection process of your potential employees without error.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I think this mock draft is for, to ensure that nothing bad happens or nothing crazy happens. And obviously,
it almost seems like it should be postponed.
We talked about that already, Dane. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Leave the past in the past. Leave the past in the past. No, I'm messing with you. But back to the WNBA part. I just kind of wanted to see how the presentation was, how you know the nicks and nannies of it. So for those that don't know, I nerded out. I did it for the pod though, so I can relay it to the people, bro, to the people. But so the WNBA has 12 teams, so it's like 3 rounds of 12 picks, which it went by really fast, and they had the top prospects in their homes. And what was weird to me, and a lot of people tweeted about it, some of the top prospects had like the professional ESPN camera in their home. They had an ESPN microphone so they could interview them. And then other prospects had like either an iPhone in front of them or it wasn't professional, so the Wi-Fi type thing was going in and out. It was hard to hear. So a lot of people were tweeting. I tweeted about how I was curious as to why some had the ESPN stuff and some didn't. I don't know if they just like, hey, we're just gonna pick these prospects, or they didn't have enough. I doubt that they didn't have enough because it's ESPN.
Cherry picking. They got resources. Resources.
Maybe I don't know. I just don't know. So that was a thing that I thought was interesting about it. But for the most part, it went well. They interview prospects maybe through Zoom, through some, maybe through just straight telefeed from the ESPN thing. But overall, I think it went well, and I'm sure NFL took notes on how they want certain things to go. But hopefully Monday when they do this mock thing, it'll work out fine.
We'll see.
We'll see. We will definitely see. All right, and we are now to the nerdy part of our podcast, the stuff part. We put our nerd pants, our nerd hat, and thinking cap, and we talk about fun comic book, movie, video game type stuff. And Dane, the Fantastic Four movies from the past few years have been trash. Can we agree on that?
Partially agree on that.
Yes. You said partially?
We can partially agree on that.
Oh, inform me on the partial part. Did you like a Fantastic Four movie?
I think the original ones, they got the casting. Well, you can make the argument they got the casting right in both of them. It just was cheesy / corny, the execution. But of course, it was one of the first. No, I'm not going to give them any credit. It could have been a lot better, but at the same time, this what we had. And 20 years from now, we're looking at them like, wow, we actually went to the movies to see this crap happen. Yeah, it doesn't stand the test of time like any of the actual MCU films will.
Yeah, especially with what we've seen the past few years compared to that. And so, the deal that Fox or Disney made with Fox allow a lot of Marvel properties to come back to Marvel, and so now Marvel Studios can actually start making movies a part of the MCU. And there was a report that came out, Dane, that our boy Jim Halpert from The Office, aka John Krasinski, had a meeting with Marvel Studios for a potential MCU project. And there have been a lot of memes, tweets from years ago when they first announced that, Fantastic Four was finally going to be a part of the MCU, that John Krasinski was the perfect fit to play Mr. Fantastic. And even in the comics, the comic book character, like if you see this particular picture that I saw,
favor each other. They favor one another.
That's what I was trying to say. Really, yeah.
I don't know though, man. I don't know though.
Okay, go ahead.
No. I'm gonna hold my thought. I'm gonna hold it right here. I'm gonna let you proceed, brother.
Okay, we'll get to you.
But what? No, I'm playing. Go
ahead. For me, I believe that. Well, there was an interview a while back that he said he'd be interested in joining the MCU and about Mr. Fantastic and the Fantastic Four in general. So I could see it. I honestly think it's a perfect fit because he looks like him. We know that he can act. I have not seen A Quiet Place yet. I think you have, right, Dane?
No, I haven't. I started it, but I couldn't finish it because it was apparently, like, wait a minute.
Well,
quiet the whole time.
Yeah, he directed that movie, and so it got a lot of praise and accolades. And so I think if he were to come to the MCU, he'd be able to direct as well. But I think he's a good, perfect fit. He looks like him. We know he can act. I think it might be a little too good to be true as far as MCU seeing everybody tweet about, hey, get this guy. We want him, for them to be able to go in a different direction. But
the fan cast.
Right, the fan cast type thing. So I personally, I would love to see him in there. I like him. I like him personally, and I think it'd be a good fit. I don't know about the rest of the Fantastic Four, but I think he'd be a good fit for Mr. Fantastic. What you think?
Have you seen Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime?
No, I have not. I know, man.
Okay.
I know.
He, of course, he's the lead role in the Jack Ryan series. It has 2 seasons on Amazon Prime. You should watch it whenever you get a chance. So he fits the mold for this action, investigative suspense type of drama-filled, undercover, going overseas, taking down bad guys type of role. It's just my only issue with it is, like, Richard Reed he's a scientist. I don't know. It just I don't want to force. I'm not paying for anything, but if I was the person in charge of finding the actors for these roles or casting or whatever, the casting director, I think that's what they're called or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Uh, I don't know. It just kind of feels like a reach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he looks the part, but
can he
I don't
actually
know.
play
Maybe
the
I'm just
character
overthinking it.
himself? That's a good take. I didn't think about, because I don't read the comics for Marvel. I was not born. I dived into the MCU and Marvel through the movies, not through the comic books. And so we actually seen Fantastic Four twice on screen. And I don't even know those actors that played Mr. Fantastic. But I think that he's versatile in the ability to play that role.
Oh, he's got the range. He's definitely got the range. It just like, for me, it just seems, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it.
Yeah, throughout the past 10 or so years, 12 years now for Marvel MCU, the casting has been perfect, near perfect for all the roles, right? You would think like Robert Downey Jr., who else could have played that role of Tony Stark? Who else could have been Captain America besides Chris Evans, I think they've done
Chris Pratt.
He tried.
He auditioned for it.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking like they haven't missed, or like those big roles. I feel like they've done a good job of putting that character, in my opinion,
they had a partial miss.
Let me know.
Whole, Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle.
Oh,
that not counting that as a miss, but
they missed on, or was it just Terrence? You just feel like Terrence Howard dropped the ball himself?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, well, that is not so much as a bad cast. It's just like, as a person that has a knack for wanting to see the same person in a movie or in a sequence of movies, it's just weird seeing like a different actor. Like it's the same thing with what's his face? Incredible Hulk. Is it Knowlton? What's that dude's name?
What are you talking about?
Hulk, the guy from Incredible Hulk.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo.
Nah, what's the other guy's name? I want to say it's
the one that played him before.
Fight Club. Yeah, he was in Fight Club. I forget his name.
I'm Googling it.
But that doesn't bother me so much because, of course, they were for the first few movies. I didn't know that the Incredible Hulk, is it Knowlton or Knowlton? I can't remember the dude's
Edward
name.
Norton.
Edward Norton. Yeah, Edward Norton. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Of course, that one more so because of his. I guess he was hard to work with.
Well, apparently he didn't want to come back. That's what I heard. And that's the same with Terrence Howard. It was like they dropped the ball as far as not wanting to come back to the MCU. So
I thought it was Marvel. They originally signed him on for the first movie with the expectation that for the second movie that he'd be paid a certain amount of money. Now, whenever they realized that Iron Man took off the way that it did, they ended up having to, I guess, not slice his budget for Terrence Howard, but that money, because of the resurgence of Robert Downey Jr., is like, oh, got to pay this guy a little bit more money.
Yeah.
And it's got to come from somewhere. So the fat has to be trimmed from somewhere. And because at the time, Terrence Howard was close to the top of not the peak of his career, but he was an ascending star, I guess you could say. And of course, Robert Downey Jr., they weren't sure if he was going to, be successful or not. But, that's just a risk you got to take when your back is against the wall.
He probably didn't know they was going to take off like that anyway. So,
I don't think anybody could have imagined that.
Don Cheadle, he's killed the role, replacing him.
Oh
So
heck yeah!
there's just those like
It's just me being particular.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. For the most part, you would agree though that they've gotten those roles like fit right. Who? I mean, tell me who you.
Nah, they haven't dropped the ball on anybody. No.
Okay.
I'm dead serious. They haven't dropped.
Okay.
I don't think they've dropped the ball on anybody. I would have liked to see more of Anthony Hopkins as Odin, but I mean that
Yeah.
that comes with the territory of them writing him out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think they missed on anybody. But a lot of people didn't like Michael B. Jordan casted as Killmonger. I do remember that.
Yeah, and then we saw the movie, and you would agree that he was played that role really well.
He did his thing.
Right. So So for the most part, I mean, it's and if there's they shooting good from the field, so to speak. They make more than they miss. So, Kevin Feige, who has guided this MCU ship for a while, he's done a pretty good job. I can say so. Whether it's John Krasinski or somebody else, I always have confidence that they'll be a good fit for it. So we'll see how that goes, bro.
As long as I get the Silver Surfer back in the MCU, I ain't tripping. Yeah. I'm good on that.
So we'll see how those talks progress.
And of course, Dr. Doom, because Doom is probably one of the best villains in the MCU, or not best villains, but one of the best characters in the MCU. They have to get a good actor.
Yeah. We'll see how it shakes. So on the video game side, Dane, we talked about a few months ago. I sent you a text about this game that came out last year called Maximum Football 2019.
Maximum Football.
And it's a small development team, maybe 4 or 5 people that created this video game with full customization stuff. We've missed NCAA college football for a while, so they came out with this game, and it graphically and gameplay wise, I don't know if you ever got to play it, Dane, but I played it. It was tough. It was a tough game.
Yeah, it was the looker.
Right. It was a tough game, but for that small development team, it was fun in the aspect that you got to play a college football playoff. You got to recruit things that we enjoyed on the old college football games that they stopped making. And so it was a great attempt to, bring in what we've been missing about college football. But as far as gameplay goes, as far as physics goes, stuff like that, it kind of wasn't the best. And so this same game is coming out. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. So this same game is coming out in September of 2020, and they announced that since January they had to deal with this development studio called Unity, and they signed a deal with them, and they've already been working with them for the past few months to help boost all the stuff that us that played the game felt was bad as far as physics, graphics, all that. And so it was only 4 or 5 people working on this game. So imagine stuff that goes into a video game is probably crazy. And so they only have 4 or 5 people working, and I can only imagine how tough it is to come out with a college football game when you only have 4 or 5 people working on it. So I'm gonna just take a few quotes from this thing they announced. So on January 24th, Canuck Play tweeted hints to this exciting news that they signed an agreement that will make the impact of Maximum Football a good one. So they signed with Unity Professional Services to assist in the development of the 2020 version. It's going to improve game performance, frame rate, lighting, obstacle player avoidance, game physics, as well as the replay system and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of other different quotes. And I won't go into it too deep, but with NCAA football not coming back anytime soon, as we know, we've voiced our displeasure on this podcast and to each other, Dane, with EA Sports and the Madden franchise, and we won't go into that. 2K Sports.
Why not?
Bro, we'll be here all day. 2K Sports is coming out with an NFL game. It's not going to be 11 on 11, but some type of arcade style game. We don't know what that's going to be.
Street.
Right. And so to have this alternative of a game, you know, we were not necessarily happy with what EA Sports is doing with Madden, and to not have NCAA football, to have this company kind of get any help they can with some backing to try to improve the game. I'm all for it. Hopefully it'll work out for the best. As far as gameplay and stuff that was wrong with this version, it was only $20 as well, so it's not like dropping $50 on the game. I just hope that, you know, if we can get any glimpse of what NCAA 14, they can even give me NCAA 14 graphics and throw it on there, I'll be satisfied, because personally I think that's one of the best sports games. And I want to have that discussion to top sports games ever made. You do that later, but I think even if they bring back some of the, I know they necessarily can't bring back, if it's anything similar to what I enjoyed about NCAA 14 and that NCAA football series as a whole, dang, I would.
Sounds very selfish.
I'm selfish on this one.
But proceed.
I don't get it.
You have my attention.
Yeah. If it's anything similar to that series, I'd be satisfied. If they just tweak, you know, get the graphics and the engine kind of right, I think it'll be a great game for 2020. So did you get to play it at all? And if so, what were your problems with it? And does this news of this even excite you at all or make you feel optimistic? What do you think?
I watched the gameplay.
Okay.
That's the extent of my experience. And that's when I knew. I mean, I knew it was a small team. So shout out to those guys for putting out the product and having the vision to go out there and do something like that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Sort of like, what's the best analogy I can give? Yeah, I have nothing. But I'm not going to. They did. I'm sure they did the best they could possibly do with what they had. So shout out to them for doing that and setting the groundwork for hopefully what we're going to get in the coming seasons.
Yeah, I know we're really excited. I know I was texting you screenshots from the game before it came out because it legit looked like something that would be worth playing, worthwhile. And I think another thing that's hurt the game is not online. You can't play online with your friends, which kind of sucks in that aspect. But to just make it, I don't know how easy or hard this is, but just make it somewhat similar to what I loved about NCAA 14. And I think you have a good product because that's what people
without copying it.
And even right now, I don't know if you've seen it, Dane. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but like people are still playing the game. I still play it. I know you played it for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, they still have the servers up.
Yeah, servers are still
play other people online.
Yeah, so I would think just hone it in, and hopefully with this announcement that they're partnering with a studio that, you know, they can make the game a little better and give us something worthwhile while NCAA is doing NCAA-like things. So,
thanks.
Yeah, man. If you are still with us, we appreciate it. We thank you for joining this audio or video journey. We are putting out this podcast 2 ways now, Dane. We are moving on up like George Jefferson, bro.
All right. On that note, everyone, give Deontay a nice round of applause.
Thank you
for not telling any awkward like jokes like that one he just did.
Hater alert.
Nah, I'm just kidding. It's in my blood, G.
Hater alert. No, I'm playing, bro. But Yeah, we're just trying to create, man. We're just trying to. I mean, we're in the house all day, so why not, right? Just create the best content that we can create, and um, hopefully, this will be something we'll be able to continue, depending on how technology works out. So far, so good, bro. Um, if you want
You hit the
to,
record button this time?
I did hit the record button. We're recording. Thank you for letting the audience know that. But
They would have found out one way or another. Would have leaked to a source.
Yeah, leak the source out. But we are. If you want to find us on social media, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at DEPS Right Steps, and the podcast is on Twitter and Instagram as well at Duo SNS Podcast. And this video portion of the podcast we will release maybe 2 or 3 days after the audio version, as soon as I figure out how to make this quality pretty good and get it on there on all our platforms. Probably gonna have to put this on YouTube because that's the only format they'll probably be able to hold this whole episode.
This is true.
So we'll have
next episode
a YouTube page up pretty soon. So, Dane, anything you gotta say, bro?
Be responsible, man.
Yeah.
So we can get over this whole thing. Wash your hands. Wash behind your ears. Chill with your peeps. FaceTime your friends.
Yeah.
If you get bored, just go to the store, buy a board game or a deck of cards or something and play with your significant other or your friends, or I don't know. Read a book.
Yeah.
Zoom
somebody.
Multiplication or something. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have nothing, literally. That's all I got.
Yeah.
This was pretty fun, man.
Yeah, bro.
This is pretty fun.
It was fun. It was exciting. I could see your face while we record, crack jokes, and make fun of my facial expressions, and make fun of this quarantine nasty beard that I have. And I got the hat on because the hair is out of this world bad. So hopefully we'll be able to continue to do this video portion of the podcast. Audio portion, we're still rocking and rolling not day to day, but as episodes go. So we appreciate it so much. Continue to stay safe, wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough, sneeze. If you're in public, social distance. You have to go out, get some exercise as well, and just do your part to flatten the curve and help us get back to normalcy. So if that's it, my brother, it was a great video podcast and great audio as well. So I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited and
man.
Continue.
I'm glad we got this thing, the first inaugural video podcast recorded, even if it never sees the light of day.
Yeah. Also shout out to the new intro. We got a video intro that you saw when this video started, and then for the audio listeners, we have a new audio intro. So that is something cool. We trying to do some things over here, man. We're trying to make it look official and professional. So, bro, with that being said, man, we out this mug and y'all be easy.